Hello there. Welcome back to Retro Rewind. I'm Scotty, you're not, and we're continuing Nick Month 2. This time it's personal. And today we are talking about the Jimmy Neutron special, all the way back in 2004, I think. Operation Rescue Jet Fusion. Without commercials, this is 43 minutes long. That's not long at all. Um, so, yeah. Uh, after Agent X, who is of course Jet Fusion, is kidnapped, the OSTO or whatever it's called, OMST, I don't know, sends out for Jimmy Neutron because that's what you do. You get a 10-year-old to do this stuff. So he, along with Carl and Sheen, for some reason, go on a rescue mission to save Agent X, along the way meeting Beautiful Gorgeous, voiced by Wendy Malick, and the villain of the movie, or the special, Professor Calamitous, who had been on the show before. I don't remember. I should have looked it up. I don't remember the whole Professor Calamitous thing. I know he had a thing where he couldn't finish his sentences. He couldn't finish anything. You know, his plan finished, which is why it didn't work. But he's back. It's voiced by Tim Curry. So, yeah. So we get a James Bond style opening for this. Jimmy Neutron. Yeah. This is after the OSTM or whatever says, I think this is supposed to be the mock-up on the papers that Bond gets, where, like you play GoldenEye, and on that little paper document it gives you, it says OHMSS, which is on Her Majesty's Secret Service. I think that's what that's supposed to be a mock of. I don't know. They sent for Jimmy Neutron because they need him to rescue Agent X. Jimmy is with his friends watching a jet fusion movie, which is their equivalent of a Bond film, apparently. Yeah. All these Nick shows, they had their own variations of superheroes. Doug had Quail Man, which was, of course, supposed to be Superman. There was I don't remember what it was called, but it was a James Bond-like character there. And the Indiana Jones character he had. On Fairly Odd Parents, there was Crash Nebula, which I think is their version of Buzz Lightyear, and the Crimson Chin, which is a superhero character. Yeah. So we have Jet Fusion, which is their Bond character. Ultraman is their superhero character, of which Sheen is obsessed with. Ultraman. So, yeah. And Jimmy is now in school, and he's brought to the office by the principal, who says that someone needs him, and it's them. I believe the chief here is voiced by, I want to say it's Kevin Michael Richardson again, because I thought maybe Michael Dorn, but I don't think it was Michael Dorn. I think it's Kevin Michael Richardson. I didn't look it up, because it's under an episode thing. It's not under it doesn't have a special page for some reason. It should, but it doesn't. So, and he has selected Jimmy, this 10-year-old boy, to rescue Agent X. They don't say who it is. It's just on a mission. He decides to bring Sheen with Carl and Sheen with him. And oh my god, this is 43 minutes long. I forgot about Carl's incessant singing. Where's Biden? It's God. Oh my god. How many times he does, I don't know. But he gets annoying. To the point they're on a freaking cliff. Mount Everest. Which they're able to climb. I just realized that. It's a cartoon. And they fall off of it and they survive. They don't fall all the way. It's onto a base level of it, not all the way to the bottom. But they're able to climb it without gears. They're in their regular clothes. They're not in coats or anything like that. You know how high up Everest is? People have, like, gotten very, very bad frostbite going there. Trying to climb that. It's so high, the air is so thin, but no, okay. Anyway, on their trip to save Agent X, they meet Beautiful Gorgeous, voiced by Wendy Malick, and she turns out to be a villainess. I was confused at first, but this is also a very Bond thing where he handcuffs her or something to the boat, and then they leave, which Bond has done before to villains where he, and she gets free and chases after them. And Shane, who is for some reason in love with this woman and thinks that they're engaged, there is dialogue where it's like, they establish here that Sheen is older than them, and he's like, I'm older than that. Look, I've been held back. He's like, well, he's been held back a bunch. Only twice. So I'm like, what? So he's older than them, I guess. But he's in the same grade because he's been held back twice, I guess. I don't know. But like, she escapes, chases after him on a jet ski, and Sheen's like, her hair's so beautiful floating in the wind. Jimmy! It's, fish with a glowing red light. No! Yawn! Bad! Machine doesn't warn them that she's after them, but they're able to get away, and they have to climb Mount Everest for some reason. And they climb up there, like I said, they have no protective clothing on, nothing. The regular clothes are up there. Interestingly, he doesn't bring Goddard with him. Maybe that'd make it too easy? It's just the three of them. Goddard doesn't come with. You think a robot dog will come in handy. Then again, if it's on Goddard, you can just fly up to the top unless the atmosphere is something to the dogs. It's a cartoon. Because Carl won't shut up. Well, he starts singing, and then when Jimmy's like, "Oh, hey, don't, Carl, shh, you don't want to cause an avalanche." Then Sheen says, "An avalanche," and that causes an avalanche. And while they survive the avalanche, Carl and Sheen fall and don't die. They land on a base area where they're found by some monks who take them somewhere. And while Jimmy finds his way up, well, he doesn't find his way up. He falls, but he falls into like a duct that lands in a cage with Jet Fusion, who was voiced by Christian Slater. I was like, I don't remember who voiced, was it Jay Leno or Last of Crimson Chin? Was it Alec Baldwin or something? No, it was Christian Slater. I'm Jet Fusion. I'm just like, I'm sorry. I love Christian Slater, don't get me wrong. I didn't put the thing up, so look at this. That's what he looks like. Do you think that's a Christian Slater look? No. You modeled it to James Bond, so yeah. Well, Professor Calamitous has them, it reveals that he's the villain, and that he's now able to finish some things, but he hasn't finished the entire plan because he wasn't able to finish his lessons he was getting because someone was sick or something, I don't know. But yeah, he introduces his assistant, who's beautiful, gorgeous, and well, not yet. He brings them into dinner for spaghetti and tater tots, and they look like they're all on the same plate. But this is where he does his Bond villain spiel and throws out what his plan is. His plan is to melt the snow on Mount Everest and flood the Earth. Yeah, there's not enough snow on Mount Everest to flood the Earth. There's not. On the tops of the Mount Everest, there's not enough. No, there's not enough. Polar ice caps, but they're already melting, according to environmentalists. I don't know. But, no, unearthed. No. I don't think that would work, but that's his plan. Then he introduces Beautiful Gorgeous as his assistant or vice president of evil empire or something. She takes them to go kill them. Jet unsuccessfully tries to flirt with her. But they're able to fool her by freezing her in place and leaving. We get his line, "Got a jet." It was cool the first time, but he keeps saying it. Or "Let's jet." Let's jet, and then Jimmy says, "Got a blast." She doesn't say, but let's jet. Let's jet. So the plan is now to stop Professor Calamitous from melting in the snow on the top. Yeah. So Calamitous finds Beautiful Gorgeous frozen. We found out that Beautiful Gorgeous is his daughter. So, yeah. Although he's British and she's not. You couldn't have one of them out do a British accent or something. Maybe she could do it. I don't know. Yeah. So eventually, they stop the machine, but it for some reason causes it like melting machine averted. Operation Mount Everest averted. Operation Blow Up Lab initiated. So I don't know why it blows up. Yeah, they fall down. Well, they're falling down. They end up in a giant snowball. Calamitous and Beautiful Gorgeous end up in a giant snowball, while Jimmy and Jet are running in front of it somehow. They're on a sled thing, but they don't have enough power, so he's going to use his jet boots, which don't work. Do you have 27 AA batteries? No. How would you fit it in there? Also, this is another point of why bring something up if you're not going to use it? Use my jet boots. Well, they don't work. Why even mention them? Especially when Jimmy's like, "Oh, grab my bag and we can jet out of here." And I'm like, that's like 10 feet away from you. You could have just used that. Why bring up the boots at all? They get his backpack, they fly out, and they all land safely on the bottom of Shangri-La. Because it's often rumored that Shangri-La is hidden somewhere in the Himalayas. Any show or something, there's something with Shangri-La, it's hidden in the Himalayas. And so Shangri-La is here. And Carl says earlier that we'll find a secret place where llamas roam free. And Sheen says, "You got a serious obsession with llama. You need to get that checked out." I'm like, "Okay, Ultra Lord, man." But yeah, they're safe and sound. I like when they land. Like, okay, the llama's like, "Welcome to Shangri-La. You're under arrest." To the policing kind, not the peaceful kind. But yeah. So then he's like, "Well, can you help me find my friends?" "I will help you find your friends, even if it takes forever." Here comes Carl. Well, that was fast. Man, I'm good. Okay, that was funny. But yeah, Carl comes in on a llama and says the monks brought him there and they've been safe. And he's like, "Well, where's Sheen?" "Sheen? Oh, you mean the chosen one." So apparently Sheen is the chosen one because he can put his leg behind his head. One who puts foot behind head. And we went so long, we just decided your friend was it, I guess. And yeah. So yeah, so everyone, I like how he's like, "Do what I do." And you see Beautiful Gorgeous, so he starts doing this. And they start copying him, and he's hopping on one leg because he's got the one behind his head, which you can't really do. Some people could do. I couldn't do it. I'm too fat. I'm too fat. But, yeah. So it doesn't round up Sheen, and then they go home, and Jimmy receives a medal. And for some reason, his parents don't believe that he's a secret agent. though you would legally not be able to tell anyone about this. He's video broadcasting, and they still don't. Because earlier on, he was like, "Oh, yeah, like I was a secret agent. I had a badge and everything, but that was a Halloween costume that he had apparently." Anyway, yeah. It ends with a Jimmy Neutron Bond movie parody, and he's like, "Hey, I can dream." So, yeah, that's how it ends. Pretty good, I must say. I'm not giving it a rating; it's a TV episode, but yeah, it's a pretty short special, but pretty well done. Also, when they're on the speeder back, he's like, "Hey, maybe one day you'll have a movie of your own someday." And he's like, "A Jimmy Neutron a movie? A Jimmy Neutron movie? That could never happen." And looks directly at the screen. It's already happened, huh? But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It's fun going back and watching stuff you haven't seen in a while. I had this DVD. I bought this DVD from Walmart quite a few years ago. What does it say? Right, 2004. That's not when I bought it. I guess. I mean, this had to be reissued, right? It's in one of these. So I'm looking for the reissue date. It all says 2004. I farted and it stinks really bad. It all says 2004, but I thought there would be a reissue on the DVD. I guess not. A reissue date, I guess. I don't know. I know when I bought it. A few years now, at least. But, yeah. So what are your thoughts on Operation Rescue Jet Fusion? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.